We've got clips to look over from an ultimate MAGA takedown done by yours truly, where I think multiple logical inconsistencies and issues with Trump were highlighted. If you want the full conversation posted, that's over an hour in length, just let me know in the comments and make sure you like this video. It helps a ton. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll be back with some additional context. Do you think Trump supports the First Amendment?
I do.
Why do you think that he suggested jail time for people who burn the American flag?
See, and that's where I disagree with Trump at. I believe people should be able to burn the American flag if that's what they want to. Personally, I wouldn't, but if that's what someone believes that they should do, then that's on
Do you
them.
think that's against the First Amendment? Do you think if somebody was arrested for burning a flag, that it would be against their First Amendment right?
I do.
So if Trump suggested something that it would be against the First Amendment, how is he for the First Amendment? And it's literally that easy to poke holes in their defenses of Trump because it quite literally always boils down to, well, Trump represents these patriotic things. And when he very clearly shows that he doesn't, well, it doesn't count, or I've never heard of it, or I don't agree with them, or it doesn't matter. The truth is, MAGA under Trump has never represented free speech. Democrats are the true party of free speech, and you can't list a single thing pushed by a mainstream Democrat that is even close to as gross a violation of your First Amendment right as Trump swearing he would lock up those who burn the flag, a constitutionally protected form of free speech. I just love that even the simplest follow-up question can make MAGA malfunction like that. When government stops providing a service, what replaces government?
So when a government stops providing a service, it should come of the citizens in a community.
Well, it's corporations, right?
Right.
Privatization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're saying that corporations enrich themselves with these same mechanisms, even worse than the government, and that is your only problem with the government, why would we then give the trust to the corporations who you were even saying does it worse? There is no answer for this, and it's also the easiest logic corner to put MAGA in, as most of them are just brainwashed into thinking that more corporate control is good because government bad, but they haven't put much thought into it past that, and there's not much explanation if you ask them these kind of critical questions. Any knock you have on the government clearly would only be abused 10 times worse by corporations. We think government officials enriching themselves is bad. Wait till you find out what the corporate CEOs do with their record profits. And also, if you look at like the progressive Democratic members of Congress, none of them are enriching themselves. So like progressive values in Congress would be what we need. And that's also not a knock on the government. It's a knock on people in government. Also, we have much less mechanisms of control over corporations than we do government once they would engage in these things. If the government official enriches himself, we can democratically unseat them. We have elections and chances to do this every few years. If a corporation does this, however, we have absolutely no say. Go try and tell Bezos you're unhappy with him purchasing $3 billion in stock buybacks in 2022 as an Amazon employee and see if you even still have a job tomorrow. So you think the cancer patient who comes to an insurance company and says, I need you to cover my chemo. And they're like, we're not going to insure you because we think it'll cost too much. You think that's completely fine? That should be allowed.
Do I personally think that that is right? No.
Do you think it should be allowed is what I'm asking.
If it is privatized, yes.
You think that cancer patient who gets denied by one insurance and can't afford the other one should go without care, to be clear?
That's not what I said. No, I don't.
In your system, that's what would happen though, right?
But that's not what I said.
There's all the preempting of his answer here because he knows exactly how insane it is. And it's the bullet that these clowns have to bite when pretending that super hyper privatization is the answer to everything, when in reality, it's literally never solved anything. In the era of choice and a free market, he thinks insurers should be allowed to, or should be allowed to not have to insure people with pre-existing conditions. There should be no requirement to do so. His reasoning being that, oh, well, people will gravitate towards those who do cover those with pre-existing conditions and the market will correct itself. However, we literally know this isn't true. Like, it's as if we don't have a real case study of this in, I don't know, our healthcare system before Obamacare, the thing him and MAGA are saying we should repeal, not even 2 decades ago, where a large percentage of people were unable to be insured because of pre-existing conditions as mundane as Crohn's disease, diabetes, cancer, as I was pointing out here, which leads to them having to pay out of pocket for these things, leading to them being in crippling debt, leading to them not being able to afford retirement, having to work later, lots of downstream effects. all because they were deemed too expensive, which is what MAGA wants to allow insurance companies to do again because profit should trump people.